Hello guys, Mr. Reckless Penguin here. I just finished Samurai Champloo, let's say, a month ago, and my thoughts on it were insanely positive. Champloo has its own identity that you can't really compare to any other shows. I mean, beatboxing samurais playing baseball. What other words can you say really do that? But today, I'm going to briefly discuss one of the genius elements of Champloo, and that is its use of anachronisms. Peggy, what's an anachronism, you pseudo-intellectual jerk? Excuse me, well, I'll tell you what an anachronism is. An anachronism is defined as something or someone that is not in the correct historical or chronological time. To use an example from a TV show that modern audiences don't know about because kids are too dumb to even know what old cartoons are, the Flintstones has TVs in their Stone Age setting. This can also apply to events or activities, an example being in the video game Kid Icarus Uprising being set in the age of the Greek gods, yet they mention having access to the internet and pizza delivery. And before you go commenting down below, yes, I love me some Kid Icarus Uprising. Such a dank ass fun game. Halodana is my waifu. Samurai Champloo utilizes these anachronisms in a way that most anime can't achieve, incorporating elements from different time periods into its Edo era setting without breaking the viewer's immersion. Just a quick FYI for you guys who don't know when the Edo period was in Japan, well, I'm about to tell you right now. The Edo era period of Japan took place between 1603 all the way to 1868, and it was during a time when it was under the rule of the Tokugawa shogunate. For more information on this time period in Japan, just for the sake of time, just go check it out on Google. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the anachronisms in the show. Let's first talk about nail polish. Yep, you heard me, nail polish. Nail coloring was prominent before Champloo's time during China in 3000 BC and the Zhou dynasty in 600 BC, where gold and silver nail polish was used for royalty, while light pink colors were for the average Chinese woman. If anyone from a lower class dared to color their nails the same color as royalty, they were reported to be sentenced to death. But the part where I and other people believe that this is an anachronism in the case of Fu is the little flower decorations on her fingernails, since back in those days, the fingernails were colored with no patterns. Decorating patterns on your fingernails wasn't a thing until the 1930s, and it originated in England. So there is little to no possibility that Fu's fingernails could have ever been like that in the Edo period of Japan, which makes this, ladies and gentlemen, our first anachronism. Jean's glasses can be considered an anachronism. Not the glasses themselves, but the designer frames. Through some research that I did online, I found that all the glasses that were invented during the time period of Edo era Japan, none of them matched Jean's. You got Martin's glasses, wig spectacles, bifocals, and scissor spectacles during the 1700s, and the lorgnette during the 1800s, which all have a distinctive border around them, whereas Jean has glasses with frames that appears only to be on top like glasses nowadays, which means that Jean's type of glasses did not belong to the time period. The closest time period I can find where it has something like Jean's types of glasses is in the 1900s. I'm not even gonna talk about Mugen. You guys can interpret Mugen yourselves. That nigga's just a walking anachronism waiting to happen. Between his baggy pants and his other attire, just look at him. You can easily interpret this one. Enough about character designs, let's talk about the rest of Champloo. Something is very fishy here. A giant moving mechanical crab used as an advertisement? Either that's an anachronism or Godzilla's dinner. The mechanical crab obviously does not belong here due to the amount of electricity and mechanisms needed in order for it to move around. To prove my point about this, you can visit a restaurant in Osaka called Kanidaraku, which features a giant mechanical crab above its entrance. So you'll see how it's impossible that this crab could have been in Edo period Japan. Yo, you know, my name is Mr. Reckless Penguin. I like to see the other penguins. Hey ladies, how you waddling? How you waddling, yo? Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack, quack. The one that made me laugh the most was the beatboxing samurai. No one expected that a samurai was gonna beatbox out of nowhere like a brother, but let me clue you in on a little history. The hip-hop style of beatboxing originated from mimicking early drum machines, the earliest being in the 1930s invented by Leon Theremin. That being said, the hip-hop style beatboxing by the samurai wasn't a thing until the 1980s, after Doug E. Fresh stated that he was the first human beatboxer, which proves that samurai's beatboxing is indeed an anachronism because beatboxing wasn't invented yet.
Just kidding. I figured those two might try and get a peek at my diary without asking, so I decided to make all that stuff up.
This one's a tiny, cleverly hidden one that if I didn't say anything, you guys would have probably never noticed in your lifetime. There was a little vein popping symbol next to the word Baka in Fu's journal, which of course we all as anime fans know that the vein popping symbol wasn't a thing until anime started to exist in 1961. So either Fu went into the future and got wet from Astro Boy, or this is an anachronism. I believe it's the latter, of course.
Who the devil's in charge here?
Hello, where can we find the person in charge?
Coming on to left field, we have the Americans who come to visit Japan in hopes of establishing trade. Japan is pissed at us, but don't worry, because Japan is always pissed at us. First off, the music being played for Stars and Stripes Forever was composed by John Philip Sousa in 1987. It was first performed on May 14, 1897 at Willow Grove Park outside of Philadelphia, which, if you guys read your history textbooks like you're supposed to during class, was set in the Meiji era. I know you guys want to talk about the baseball itself. I can't automatically pinpoint an exact year for when Champloo takes place, but if it's any time before 1845, which many clues hint towards, is definitely an anachronism, and here's why. There is a myth that baseball was discovered by Abner Doubleday in 1839. However, there is a lack of evidence in multiple articles of counter-evidence that disproves the claim. Baseball is based off a game from England called rounders, but even then the rules weren't like the rules that we have today in baseball. This is where Alexander Cartwright takes the stage in 1845 and establishes the general basis of rules we see in baseball today, including the ball having to be pitched, the base setup, and what counts as a foul ball. So assuming that Champloo doesn't take place after 1845, it's definitely an anachronism for having baseball in the show, but I can't say for sure due to the ambiguous setting that Champloo has. Also, can we please take the time and appreciate how this guy was totally sporting a Nike and Converse logo on his shoes? Nike's wasn't established until 1964 and it was known as Blue Ribbon Sports and was made into Nike in 1971, and Converse wasn't founded until 1908 in Malden, Massachusetts, which is my home state! Never visit Massachusetts, it's home of the massholes. No one cares about massholes, they just drink chowder all day and pronounce their R's like idiots. Not really, but we still kinda suck. There are so many anachronisms in Champloo, but you know what? For the sake of fan interpretation, I'm allowing you, the viewer, to figure out whether or not these are anachronisms by doing research. Yeah, you know, that thing you're supposed to do in school, but you end up plagiarizing your paper anyways, you lazy weeaboo scum. Getting back on track, what are my thoughts on the incorporation of anachronisms in Champloo? Well, I think it gives the show more of an identity of its own. How many shows can you find where there are beatboxing samurais or people using graffiti in Edo-era Japan? If Champloo had airplanes and Keurig machines, then that'd be a different story. But in Champloo, the key thing they do to not make the anachronisms blatantly obvious is having it mesh superbly with the setting, even though they don't fit with the specific timeline. I just personally find it genius how Watanabe was able to create an alternate Edo-era Japan without precisely telling us what year the story takes place in. That makes the anachronisms harder to find, thus keeping lots of the things in Champloo debatable. So the next time you watch an anime, look closely. You might find an anachronism or two. And if so, research it. Research. Research. It's a word. Do it. By the way, I love Champloo, so I highly advise you guys to watch it. If you're new, please subscribe to my channel. I make a lot of anime content and I hope you guys will enjoy that content on my channel, so please subscribe. Also comment down below if you guys want to leave an anachronism that you found in Champloo down below. Please do so, or just comment with feedback on this video. If you guys want to see more analysis type videos, I'm down for it. I already did a ping pong one, link down in the description below for the ping pong analysis video. Also make sure you leave a like, follow me on Twitter and Hummingbird and on my anime list. Thank you guys for watching, peace out, and have a nice day everyone.